Thank you, Greg. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Joe Stoiter. I am a partner at Intentionally, and I'm joined here by Jamie Riccio, our head of social media. We are a branding and marketing agency, and we've spent decades. We've spent the last 22 years in this industry, in fact, building brands, reshaping the narrative around how financial advisors differentiate themselves in a market that oftentimes feels like a sea of sameness. And so often what we find in this trade-off while advisor firms are trying to brand their businesses is that there is either the slow, laborious, long process of building a great brand, but working with an outside partner that oftentimes doesn't understand the industry, or you're using, and many of you know this as startups, you're using a quick, fast, templated solution that gives you speed, but leaves you looking, feeling, and almost articulating yourself like everyone else out there. So ABB is what we call this, Advisor Brand Builder, changes this. We've spent the last couple years building an AI-backed tool that you'll see here as we walk through it that features a guided discovery, and we take this entire long, laborious process of building a brand and our decades of experience, and we consolidate this into a very simple, seamless process where we can build a brand in weeks rather than months or years. So what Jamie is moving through here is our guided discovery. We don't start from a blank slate. We actually have our advisor firms go through this questionnaire. It's about 40 questions. We have an integration with Fathom, so we can even start from a previous discovery call, have some of these answers pre-populated so the advisor firm doesn't feel like they're starting from a blank slate. And we're giving them the option for open field question and answers. We're giving them the option to talk to text, as you see here at the bottom of the screen. We also give them the ability to record video. And this is another way or in another format they can capture this information for themselves and give it to us in a way that we can package their brand story weeks down the road. Of course, that video can also be used as a marketing asset later on in this process. So as an advisor goes through this whole process, it only takes them about an hour to answer these questions. They get to the end, they finalize and submit everything, and in a matter of minutes, we take this entire idea that they have for their brand and for their business, and we create them an identity. We create them a narrative, and we give them some authentic differentiation that allows them to separate themselves from this crowd in the sea of sameness. So what you see here is the messaging. We give them an entire brand guide document online with their color palette, their logos, their website copy, information for their social media profiles, so we can build a cohesive brand experience for them in just a matter of weeks rather than months or years. And in addition to this, you're seeing imagery here, you're seeing brand standards for typography, you're seeing boilerplate language, the value proposition, the mission statements. All of this is compiled through the formula that we've programmed with AI in the background, packaging this for us. But we also have the human expertise as a part of this equation too. We have designers, we have content writers who are refining things. They're going through this entire creation process to bring it to life. In addition to this, we also build brand assets right alongside the messaging and the logo and the visual identity that we have created for them in a matter of weeks. We can basically give them a templated direction for business cards. We can give them social media banners. We can give them stationery, letterhead, templates for pitch decks. All of this is built automatically right in line with the entire process. Once they have that brand foundation built, we move them into their digital presence. Now they have something unique to say. Now they have an idea of who they are. So let's help them create a strong brand presence online. We can automatically, again, through the power of AI, take their brand messaging, take their language, take their visual assets, and create a website map that is giving them a sense for how this all comes together as they have seen each one of these pieces come to life over a matter of just 4 weeks with us. And in fact, many of you are probably thinking, well, what does this look like when this comes to life? What does all of this lead to? Brick by brick, wealth management here is a perfect example. We just finished this process with them over the last 6 weeks. From the moment they had a concept for what to name their brand, they were moving from a wirehouse into the independent space, so they needed to create a new name, a new brand, a new message, an entire way to re-articulate their value proposition. We brought all of this together in a matter of 6 weeks. A new brand story, new visual assets, a compelling differentiated presence online, and it's all tied together through this website. What this does is it gives large enterprises in the wealth management space a way to scale brand and differentiation so that you don't need to spend so much time in this trade-off between the long, laborious process of building something that takes multiple decision makers and maybe months or years to build, and you don't have to look like a templated advisor firm that oftentimes gets confused with less expertise, standard lingo, and therefore, as a consumer, I'm completely lost and not compelled to move forward. What this entire experience does for us in a matter of 6 weeks is allows us to move with speed, but also provide the substance behind each one of these compelling, differentiated brands. And what we're seeing is the more differentiated you can be in building your brand presence, the more you have an opportunity to grow. The less time you're going to spend thinking you have an identity crisis, and the more time you're going to spend earning new business. And that's where we see the strongest brands providing that 20% in revenue growth. Thank you.